Have you ever heard of the Milwaukee Cannibal? Well, here's one of his quotes. "The meat of my victims tasted like filet mignon." That's Jeffrey Dahmer. Dahmer was an American serial killer that killed 17 non-white men and one minor between the years 1978 and 1991. His victims ranged from African American to Asian American to indigenous Native American, just not white people. He often lured them in with promises of money, sex, or alcohol, and then would strangle them and dismember their body parts. Not only would he dismember them, but Dahmer was known to keep some of the body parts as trophies or souvenirs, and was also known to eat some of the victims' remains. The true crime genre has been a cultural phenomenon in recent years. While I find the topic disturbing, it is also extremely interesting and keeps me reeled in and keeps me wanting to learn more and more. Jeffrey Dahmer is an important topic because not only did he impact the men that he killed, but he also impacted an entire community of people. Today, we'll discuss the disturbing truth of Dahmer. We're going to talk about the background of Dahmer. We're going to talk about the crimes that he committed. And we're going to talk about how he got caught. Jeffrey Dahmer was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on May 21st, 1960. His parents were Lionel and Joyce Dahmer. Lionel worked as a chemical researcher, and Joyce was a teletype machine instructor. From a young age, Dahmer developed a fascination with animal bones and how to keep them cleaned and preserved. The interest grew so strong that in later years, he had a large collection of insects and skulls and bones preserved in glass jars of formaldehyde. Throughout his early teens and high school years, Dahmer's family moved around a lot due to his dad's work. This led Dahmer deeper into isolation. This is when Dahmer first started thinking about murder. Throughout Jeffrey's high school career, the tension in his household rose. His parents' marriage was on the brink of collapse, so Jeffrey turned to alcohol. He started drinking at the age of 14, but by the age of 18, he was already addicted. Jeffrey still had pretty good grades. At the end of high school, he was accepted into The Ohio State University. However, due to his heavy drinking, Jeffrey flunked out by the end of his first semester. After he returned home, his father recommended the military. He insisted on the military and thought it would help him and make him a better person. Dahmer served in the U.S. military from 1978 to 1981, but he was ultimately discharged due to his unhinged drinking issue.
Jeffrey Dahmer murdered 17 people spanning from the years of 1978 to 1991. His nickname was the Milwaukee Monster after news of his crimes broke across the country. Dahmer killed his first victim when he was 18 years old, and 9 years later would kill his second. His murdering spree reached its worst in 1991 when he killed 8 people total, and in the summer killed 1 person a week. Dahmer would lure his victims in by meeting them at local bars and inviting them back for the night, where he would later drug and rape them. He would kill them and keep their bodies for his own exploring. It became routine for Dahmer to kill his victims, then cut their bodies into pieces, eventually keeping them and trying to turn them into zombies. He would even keep the heads of his victims in his refrigerator. Jeffrey Dahmer was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder on July 25, 1991, and another 11 counts of first-degree murder on August 22, 1991, for crimes he committed in Wisconsin. He was not charged with the attempted murder of Edwards or the murder of Steve Tuomi, a man who went missing in 1987 and is believed to be killed by Dahmer. Dahmer pled guilty but insane to 15 counts of murder on January 13, 1992. Dahmer was caught on July 22nd, 1991, after offering 3 men back home after a bar. Tracy Edwards agreed to join him, but when they entered Dahmer's apartment, he smelled a foul odor and noticed hydrochloric acid on the floor. Dahmer put a handcuff on his wrist and asked Edwards to take off his shirt. Edwards followed him to the bedroom when he saw posters of nude men, a videotape of The Exorcist 3 playing, and a blue 57-gallon drum. Dahmer ignored Edwards' request and put his head on Edwards' chest to listen to his heartbeat. At around 11:30 p.m. that night, Edwards had escaped from Dahmer's grasp, and he flagged down 2 police officers, Robert Routh and Rolf Mueller, who found Dahmer's apartment with polaroid pictures of dismembered human bodies. Dahmer was handcuffed, and later the police officers detailed their findings of 74 polaroid photographs of dismembered victims. In 1992, Jeffrey Dahmer was incarcerated for his egregious crimes. He was placed in a unit for prisoners with emotional problems but unable to interact with others. In July 1994, Dahmer was attacked, but officials allowed him to return to the general population. On November 28, 1994, he was murdered while cleaning the prisoner's bathroom with 2 other inmates.
In conclusion, Jeffrey Dahmer is an American serial killer that has gone down in infamy due to the dismemberment, raping, and cannibalism of 17 non-white, vulnerable men and 1 minor between the years 1978 and 1991. He was convicted of 16 murders and sentenced to 16 life sentences in 1992. However, his sentence was cut short due to an inmate bludgeoning him repeatedly in the head while he was in the showers. Dahmer's crimes will be studied for years to come due to his bizarre and hideous acts. Some more memorable quotes and a fact. "I don't care if I live or die, go ahead and kill me." Jeffrey Dahmer. And interesting fact about him, Dahmer wore yellow contact lenses to resemble the Star Wars villain, the Emperor.